Hi, welcome here again to Double M Farm. Thought I'd give you a little update on the Harbor Freight trencher that I have affectionately nicknamed Little Red. My biggest goal with this thing, with the add-ons, has been to make the trencher self-contained. I wanted everything to be with the machine, not have to haul anything in the back of the truck. If you saw my previous video, you know I bolted my outriggers down with U-bolts, and that's where they ride until they're ready to be put into digging position. Just take 4 nuts loose and take the outrigger off and slide it in its hole when I'm ready to dig. So, and you also know, if you saw the other video, that I added 2 more tires and axles, so I now have the 4, which quite a few other people have done, I've seen on videos. And man, it really makes it easier to switch the unit from towing to digging, having the extra set of tires, so you don't have to go front to back and side to side. So what I did, having the extra set of tires, I had the dilemma of, when I'm towing it, obviously I have to remove these tires on the tongue end, so what do I do with them if I want the unit to be self-contained? So what I did since the last video is I got some 12-inch long hitch tube, grease tube, and the receiver tube, and I was going to just weld it onto the axle shaft there, but I decided that I'd rather make it removable in case in the future I ever wanted to change. So I had some angle iron laying around, and I just cut the angle iron to fit, welded it onto the receiver tube, cut another piece of angle iron for a bracket underneath, used some grade 8 bolts, and there she is. Painted it up with a little red paint. It doesn't perfectly match, but it's close. And that gives me storage for my tires. So now, when I'm wanting to tow it, I usually leave it sitting with the 4 tires on it here in the shed. When I want to tow it, I raise the boom up just a foot off the ground, and then I can take one hand and lift this end up by the tongue because of the way the weight distributes. Then I slide this tire off and stand it up in this receiver tube. That puts the tire right, the axle stands in the tube and it stands up, and the tire will be here. Same way on the other side. Kind of looks like it has wings when you have them both on there. You see them on either side of the engine. So there you go. You slide them off. Then with the tongue up in the air because of the weight from the boom, you just back the tow rig up, push the tongue down, lock it in place, and tow. You're ready to go. And everything is on the unit. You don't have to throw anything in the truck. Then when I get to the digging site, I once again slide those tires out of the storage unit and back into their position. Then take the bucket, push down on the ground right in the center that raises the digging end up into the air. I then slide these tires off and take my outriggers and slide them in. It's a real quick and easy process. It's a lot faster than the side to side, front to back. It's just so much easier to do. If I'm on a small digging site and going to be in, say, one spot, when I slide these tires off to put me in the digging position, I'll just set them to the side. But if I'm going to be on a big job where I'm, say, digging a long ditch, I don't want to get to the other end and have to walk back and get those tires. So when I slide them off, I put them in these receiver tubes. So then I've got my 2 tires on the ground, my outriggers on the front, and those tires from the boom end, front end, are standing up here. Don't even have to pin them. They're heavy enough, and it's 12 inches long. They're not coming out. You'd have to hit one heck of a bump and knock them out. So that's the latest update I've done to the Harbor Freight trencher, Little Red. Everything else has worked great. The outriggers, I've pulled it several times with the outriggers on there, and this has worked out great. Takes 2 minutes. I keep a ratchet and 9/16 socket in the little toolbox there. Take the 4 U-bolts off and put the outriggers on. Real simple and easy. It has worked out great. The whole unit has worked great. Haven't found any problems really to speak of. Haven't broken anything yet. I've tried to be careful from that standpoint. But I have done a ton of digging with it since I've had it. A lot of digging. Still have a few people that ask, is it worth the money? Is it strong enough? Will it really do things? It looks too small to do what people say it's doing. But it does. I used to use a Terramite backhoe here on the farm and liked it. It was a nice little unit. But I don't use it anymore. It was a rental unit, and it was just getting expensive renting it every time I needed to do some digging here on the farm. And that's when I bought this after much consideration and much searching. Got a lot of shadows here, I apologize. But I'll tell you, the Terramite was a good little unit, but I never dug anything on this farm that I can't dig with this unit. It digs just as well as the Terramite ever did. And there's less maintenance, because obviously all you've got is a little bit of hydraulics, some greasing, and then this unit, which, my goodness, if you service it, it needs hardly no maintenance at all. It's a great Predator engine. So this thing, it'll go in tighter spots than the Terramite, and will dig, like I say, I'm sure there are things the Terramite would do that this won't, but I haven't run across them yet on my farm. Another good thing about this is I can go anywhere on the farm with it. I'm in the Blue Ridge Mountains, right at the base of the Blue Ridge Mountains, and there are very few level spots on my farm. And this thing, I can go anywhere. I can go up and down hills with it. I've dug out drainage ditches on my roads, and I can just crawl it right over the drainage ditch, get straddled. Don't have to worry about bogging, sticking, hanging up. Yeah, I can just go anywhere with it. The Terramite, I couldn't do that. There are slopes on my farm that Terramite just wouldn't handle. There are slopes on my farm that I sweat a bullet when I'm bush hogging with the tractor because it's pretty steep. So it's been a great unit, does a great job. I'm real pleased, more than pleased. The extra long tongue has worked out well. I am having some issues on some of these hills when you move it, you pick up with the boom, which lowers this end down. I have had that tongue dig into the dirt a couple of times because it is so much longer. On flat ground, it's no problem, but like I say, I have very little flat ground on my farm. So that has been a bit of an issue. But I think the only other thing I'm looking at doing now that I have the unit completely self-contained and everything staying with the unit all the time, probably the only other thing I'm contemplating right now is putting a thumb up here. Haven't decided which one yet. I've measured, looks like an 18 to 20 inch thumb is about the best size. Definitely no shorter than 18 inches. Don't know, I see a good price on some 24 inch thumbs on the internet, but I don't know, 24 inch would be too long and would get in the way or cause a problem. Or some of you guys that have thumbs, if you want to chime in and let me know what length you've used and which one seems to work best, I'd appreciate the info. So there you go. That's just a quick update on Little Red and how well she's doing and how satisfied we are. So any of you who are still contemplating buying one, if you've got the $3,000 that it'll roughly cost you, do it if that's what you're needing. Here's one of the ditches. See if we can get over here. It's a real cloudy day. I don't have a lot of light. This is one of the roads. I've got to get it re-graveled now that I've rebuilt it. But dug a ditch on this road. I don't know how well this is showing up on camera, but dug a ditch around this curve where it was washing out real bad. And on down, did a great job. I dug that ditch in just no time. That's my farm cabin and outdoor cooking area where we do some Dutch oven cooking. May have some videos of that coming up soon here on our channel. So appreciate you watching. Again, if you're considering a Harbor Freight trencher backhoe, they're well worth the money in my opinion. So appreciate you watching, and talk to you again sometime.